Have you ever noticed something strange? Some people count down to their birthdays weeks in advance. They plan parties, they post photos, they expect messages. But then there are other people who wake up on their birthday and go to work. No party, no cake, no announcement. Sometimes you only find out it was their birthday days later. At first, it may seem confusing. Why wouldn't someone celebrate the one day that is supposed to be about them? But psychology tells us something fascinating. When someone treats their birthday like a normal day, it can reveal deep insights about personality, mindset, emotional history, and even mental maturity. And the truth is, this behavior is far more common than most people think. For example, research on birthday attitudes shows that less than half of people actually consider their birthday a very special day, with only about 44% saying it feels truly important to them. Another study found that 41% of people in some populations choose not to celebrate their birthday at all, often because they feel celebrations are unnecessary or stressful. Even more interesting, a survey of 2,000 adults revealed that only 22% of people take their birthday extremely seriously, meaning the majority treat it as something fairly ordinary. So, if you've ever wondered, why do some people ignore birthdays? Is it personality, psychology, past experiences? Today, we're diving into the psychology of people who treat birthdays like a normal day. And by the end of this video, you might discover something surprising. Sometimes the people who celebrate the least actually understand life the most. 1. They have a strong internal identity. One of the biggest psychological differences between people who celebrate birthdays heavily and those who don't is where their validation comes from. People who don't care much about birthdays often have what psychologists call internal validation. This means their sense of self-worth does not depend on external recognition. They don't need a party, social media posts, gifts, public attention to feel important. Instead, they measure their value through personal growth, achievements, goals, and daily life. In psychology, this relates to something called an internal locus of control. People with an internal locus of control believe that their life is shaped by their actions rather than external events. So, a birthday doesn't suddenly make life meaningful. Life is already meaningful every day. To them, celebrating just one day of the year can even feel a little strange. Number 2, they are often highly independent thinkers. People who treat birthdays like a normal day often share another personality trait. They tend to be independent thinkers. They don't automatically follow social traditions just because everyone else does. Think about it. Birthday celebrations are largely social customs. Different cultures treat them very differently. Some cultures celebrate birthdays heavily, others barely acknowledge them. When someone ignores their birthday, it often means they are less influenced by social expectations. They ask questions like, why should this day matter more than any other day? For them, it's simply another 24 hours in the year. That kind of thinking is surprisingly common among analytical personalities. Number 3, they may be highly goal-focused. Another fascinating psychological pattern appears among highly driven individuals. Many ambitious individuals treat birthdays like a normal day because they are focused on progress, not milestones. You might notice this among entrepreneurs, athletes, researchers, or highly productive individuals. For them, the question is not, how should I celebrate today? The question is, what can I accomplish today? In fact, many people who build successful careers often report spending birthdays working, learning, or building something meaningful. To them, time is too valuable to pause for symbolic dates. This mindset is especially common among people who think long-term. They don't focus on one day, they focus on decades. Number 4, some people simply don't like being the center of attention. Here's something many people overlook. Not everyone enjoys attention. Psychologists have long observed that introverted personalities tend to avoid situations where all focus is placed on them. Birthday celebrations often involve exactly that. Everyone looking at you, everyone singing, everyone watching you open gifts. For an introverted person, this can actually feel uncomfortable. It's not that they dislike birthdays, they just dislike the spotlight. Many introverts would rather celebrate quietly with a small group, or not celebrate at all. This doesn't mean they are unhappy, it simply means they value privacy over attention. Number 5. Some people associate birthdays with age anxiety. Another psychological reason people avoid birthdays is surprisingly simple. Birthdays remind us that time is passing, and for some people, that thought is uncomfortable. Psychologists call this age-related anxiety. Every birthday means another year older, another year gone. For some people, this reminder reflects life, goals, or regrets. Instead of celebrating, they prefer to treat it as just another day. This reaction is actually very human. Many studies show that people become less excited about birthdays as they grow older, particularly after their 20s. Number 6. Cultural and financial factors play a role. Sometimes the reason people treat birthdays normally has nothing to do with psychology at all. It can be economic or cultural. Research shows that financial concerns can strongly influence birthday celebrations. For example, studies found that more than half of people who skipped birthday parties said cost was a major reason, especially after expensive seasons like holidays. In other cases, people simply grew up in families where birthdays were not a big tradition. If birthdays were never celebrated in childhood, it's very common for adults to continue that habit naturally. To them, birthdays simply don't carry emotional significance. Number 7. Minimalist and mindful personalities often skip celebrations. Another fascinating trend is the rise of minimalism and mindful living. More people today are choosing to simplify their lives. They focus on experiences, relationships, and mental peace rather than big celebrations. In fact, research has shown that 72% of people in one study believed reducing social obligations improved mental well-being. For people who adopt this mindset, birthdays can sometimes feel like unnecessary pressure. Instead of planning events, they prefer quiet reflection, maybe a walk, maybe dinner with a loved one, or simply gratitude for another year of life. Number 8. Some people see birthdays as symbolic, not special. Here is a deeper psychological perspective. Many people who treat birthdays normally actually view time differently. Instead of seeing life as yearly milestones, they see life as a continuous journey. To them, growth happens daily, learning happens daily, life happens daily. Why wait for one day to celebrate something that happens every day? Interestingly, surveys show that while many people enjoy birthdays, only about 3/4 of people consider their birthday more important than other life events. So the idea that everyone deeply cares about birthdays is actually a myth. Number 9. Some people have emotional history with birthdays. For others, the reason is more personal. Past experiences can shape how someone feels about birthdays. If someone grew up in a home where birthdays were forgotten, or if birthdays were associated with disappointment, they may unconsciously stop celebrating them altogether. Psychologists call this emotional conditioning. Our brain connects experiences with emotions. So if birthdays once caused pain or loneliness, the brain may simply decide it's easier not to care. Number 10. The most surprising reason: emotional maturity. Here is perhaps the most surprising explanation. Sometimes people who treat birthdays like normal days simply reach a point where they no longer need symbolic validation. They appreciate life quietly. Instead of celebrating themselves publicly, they focus on living meaningfully. They might express gratitude through reflection, prayer, personal goals, or spending time with loved ones. Not everyone needs balloons and candles to feel grateful for life. Sometimes gratitude is silent. A powerful truth about birthdays. If there is one thing psychology teaches us, it's this: people experience life differently. For some people, birthdays are joyful celebrations. For others, they are quiet moments. And for some, they are simply another day in the story of life. Neither mindset is right or wrong. They just reflect different ways of seeing the world. Next time you meet someone who treats their birthday like a normal day, don't assume they are sad. Don't assume they don't care.
Sometimes it means they are independent thinkers, deeply focused individuals, introverts who value privacy, minimalists who avoid unnecessary rituals, or people who simply see life beyond symbolic dates. And in many cases, they may be the people who understand something very powerful. Life is not about one special day. It's about how you live every single day. If you enjoyed this psychology breakdown, make sure you subscribe for more videos on human behavior, personality psychology, emotional intelligence, mindset, and personal growth. And tell me in the comments, do you celebrate your birthday or treat it like just another day?